Sure.
It was vinyl plank. But it's new. Couple of years.
Well, maybe the word and by the way, that's. Bring it back. Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll make a motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll second that. Second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for August 11th.
I will second that.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Review ambulance expenditures.
Yeah, Susan brought them out to me earlier in the week. Earlier last week, and I went through them. Everything's on target, so.
Good. Motion to approve claims for August 18th.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims for the amount of $356,069.46.
I'll second that. Motion and second, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Meetings attended.
Last week we had a safety and department head meeting. Nothing of any real significance. Pretty much business as usual. That was it. That's it.
Oh, I had a Russ meeting, just kind of reviewed the financials. There was a hookup down Argyle that they agreed to just continue till the guy got billed on. He bought the lot and all the equipment had been kind of dismantled, so. So then there's some discussion that possibly Henry County's gonna hire Russ to provide them the same services Brian's providing us, so that's a possibility, but I think that was pretty much it for.
Any other meeting?
No, that was it.
The planning and zoning meeting last week, I think they're finalizing the wind ordinance and sending it to Adam for review, and then
That come across our desk at any point in time?
yeah,
We'll have a public meeting on it first.
Okay.
And then we'll make any final adjustments that needs to be done before then they'll present it to you guys. Okay. Then go from there.
When might that be? A while yet?
Right now, my next meeting tentatively is just on hold until we hear back from Adam. Cause I don't wanna start my public hearing without.
we want to post public hearings, it could be probably October before we see them.
At least.
Okay, then I also had a porch lease from Iowa.
How's they take it?
They kick us out.
No, no, they weren't all that upset, but they understood, so. And their focus right now is on that National Waterways Convention that's gonna take place in Quad Cities. So. Anyway. That was all I had. Public input for items to be on the next agenda.
I was asked, if anybody's been working on, economic development or when you're gonna start. We give Wise Development Group $12,000 a year. Do you ever hear any reports back of what they do or any successes they've had? If they've been to Des Moines to visit with Debbie Durham, or if any of you three fellows have been to Des Moines to visit with Debbie Durham about economic development in Louisa County?
No, but I think they approach us every year for a year-end review. It'd be interesting to hear.
Has there been any success stories from that, your interview?
In the past, they promote themselves of having some successes. From this standpoint, I don't know how big the successes are, but.
How about you, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of question that
Yeah.
organization myself, but
Anything?
No, I don't have any more information from them.
Because I mean, we need those taxes for me. Nobody sees that, but.
Yeah.
So I think that department may be under review at the next budget season. We'll see. I don't think.
Thank you.
Review the payroll changes everybody have. I guess the next thing is item number 9, discussion and possible act to go through resolution 202640.
Yeah, okay. That's good. Nice.
Do I have to pack it up here on that?
Brian.
For Brian?
Yeah. He got it, packet.
Should have the resolution.
Well, you already have it.
Well,
I
that.
have the resolution, but I don't have any
Any pictures?
pictures or anything.
Gotta have pictures.
Going on.
This is the subdivision straight across from John's house. Subdivision. Just taking that house out. It's been split so many times. That's what created this subdivision. And. Casey on them. Six point nine.
Everything meet your requirements?
Yeah, everything's good to go, and this is a pretty easy one.
What's that?
I said everything's good to go on my requirements and everybody else's, it's a simple one.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 202640.
I will second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Man, that's not that big. I mean.
Oh, you got it.
That's nothing.
Nice. Don't sign over top of any numbers or anything.
Challenge accepted.
Goes back to, yeah. All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any further news on our, trailer court?
I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
I guess on these payroll changes, and skipped over that, I mean, do we need approval on this?
No,
No.
view.
No, it's just review. You guys don't have to approve it.
Okay.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Adam, you're up.
We got 3 utility, I believe, right?
Yeah. First one is, you want to do them first before you're up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Might as well get them done.
First one is approve, application for wide communication line, place fiber along G62 and 142nd Avenue. To accommodate new highway. I'd look for a motion to approve that if Adam has no problem.
No, this is all part of a process of kind of redoing utilities along that corridor there, so.
I'll make that motion.
Second. The motion is second, any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Then we have one Windstream. That's stage for approved construction on the Louisa County right of way to install fiber cable along 100th Street, D62 and K Avenue.
Yeah, this is from, to the north of our shop
There
there.
it says L,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just going by what this says.
Joe sent me a
Yeah, I
I think it was K on here.
think it's K, so, but. Whatever, it's the same corridor, it's essentially, so.
I'll make that motion.
No second.
Motion is second, any further discussion?
Get a clarification on that, you said it's Windstream?
And this is Wise Communications.
Voice communications. Joe sent me.
This one says Windstream.
Yeah,
I just go by what she types out.
this is Windstream. So the first one was Wise Communications.
Yep.
Got that one done, second one's Windstream.
First one was Eastern Iowa.
Well, on our agenda.
We don't have-
It's going.
We don't have Windstream on our agenda, but.
I think he went
Well, I
to, did
think-
12 first, now we're on
Okay,
13. He hasn't done 11.
Both Louisa Communications.
He hasn't done
Eastern
11 yet.
Iowa.
There's one for Eastern Iowa Light and Power, one for what, and two for Louisa Com for what Joe sent me.
Okay, the one here says Windstream on it, and it is correct that it is a Windstream installation.
So what item in the agenda is that, number 13?
So this is even on the agenda.
Yeah, even on the agenda, this is what Joe. And these two, they were basically the same, but I didn't, I double checked for what she
One of
sent
these
me.
should have been this one.
We'll have to put it
I
on,
guess we did.
Okay, so we'll have to do
on the system
the
first.
Windstream on the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Okay.
just.
The first one we approved was actually
Number 11.
12.
Number 12, I think is the first one we did. We skipped 11, which is fine.
okay, do 11 now.
Well, there's a motion on the floor, so he needs to rescind
I'll,
that
I'll rescind that.
Yeah. for 13, right? Because the name was wrong, needs to be Windstream, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How can you do that? We wouldn't. It's not, it's on the agenda.
What do you mean? He's
It
not,
says Louisa Communications, not.
Or just-
I know, he's rescinding the motion, we're not gonna
We're
do it.
not doing the action on.
Oh, okay, so you're skipping that?
Yeah.
Then where's Windstream out, and what's on the agenda?
It's not,
It's,
That's the one.
it's here, the packet is right, the
agenda's wrong.
agenda is. what?
Yeah, the information that got sent to me that was
So
allowed,
you can do that without republishing it?
no, we're
No.
not going to.
We're not going to do that.
Well, I'm still confused.
So number 13 is
Right.
removed.
Number 11, you had as Eastern Iowa Light and Power.
Nope.
That's the one.
We haven't done that one yet.
No, we did,
We did
We did 12.
12, and now we're gonna do 11.
yeah, so 13's crossed out.
We did 12, we tried to do 13, that was wrong, now we're back to 11.
Simple.
Who's on first?
Yeah, right?
So, this one is, now we are doing Eastern Iowa,
Mhm.
item number 11. It is for construction, Morris County Railroad to install overhead line to new construction.
I'll make a motion to approve Eastern Iowa Light Power.
Do we have the address correct?
Yes.
It's saying, I'll make a second on that one.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? And we will fix the other one for the next meeting.
I'll get the information from Joe.
Guess I have to ask another question. On 12, it was actually K Avenue though, instead of L Avenue.
Don't know that answer. You got the paper.
Or yeah,
No, I think the,
let's see here. So the number 12 was L Avenue. And the number 11 was the 17695 140th Street. So that's the number 13, that's all,
Those wrong.
those wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. Well, it was correct.
yeah.
Looked like 13 just got copied and pasted. It's
Yeah.
exactly the same as 12, so it was a misprint.
well, that's what got sent to me.
No, that's fine. Big deal.
Okay,
All right, rain, right? Rain was the deal, we had quite a bit of rain, last week going into the weekend, had a little bit more up in the west of the sheriff's office or east of it, actually up there. We had some roads washed out. We had a couple old boxes in there that there's a hole in the road, probably the size of this room, this deep. It's just sucked everything in and collapsed the road. So, guys went out, I identified those on Friday and Saturday. We did our locates and then had the crews back, we're working on them yesterday. We got one of them filled in, lots of washouts and things like that. And the guy's been blading and hauling rock and all that. We're down 2 or 3 guys now, but we managed to get a bunch of it done. So the guys did a good job of kind of jumping around and we had the mechanic out doing sign work, and the sign guy was doing excavator work, and just all kinds of things. So it was good to see. So anyway, we should be back to normal here end of the day today or tomorrow. We have a couple pipes that when you get that amount of water, it exposes some flaws in the system, so you have to go back and pipes and things like that. So anyway, back to normal, hopefully end of this week, and hopefully not too much rain.
No washouts or anything major? Yeah.
Yeah, we had a
Oh, sorry.
road completely out.
Think I heard something.
Remember when I said the hole the size of this
Sorry.
room? Yeah, that was it.
My brain went forward.
So that's on I Avenue, right?
Yeah, I Avenue.
So did you gotta replace the box culvert or?
Yeah, it had that box culvert is probably 130 years old or so, and it had a crack in it. And once it gets enough water through it, it just kind of sucks everything. And so we pull it out and replace it with a pipe. Yeah, so doing things like that. We had our K Road detour underwater for a couple days, which happens. So just when it rains, it pours, I guess. The bridge project is going slow down there, probably another month is what we're looking at, between the rain and between some of their own deals that they're trying to do 2 or 3 projects at once. On our project, they've got like 15 working days left, so they're probably gonna go over. They have to pay us back some, which isn't, I mean, it's great, but I'd rather have it open and done. So the DOT was supposed to have traffic up on their new road today, and I don't think that's gonna happen yet. So just rain and things happen. So I've heard next week though is kind of more of an opening day, so maybe end of the month we'll have some traffic up on New 61. And then after that, they're gonna come back in, I think in September and kind of redo the corner of 61 and 78. You know, now the main road is 61, so they're gonna pop it over and pave it so it's through there. So um that'll happen. I assume old 61 will be ours Thanksgiving or something. So probably the day before the first snowfall is kind of the way it's worked out in the past, at least up there. So other than that, we have got some equipment in. Sounds like our new dump trailer is supposed to be in next week or so. So got that. I did go ahead and purchase or agreement for our truck chassis. It was in the budget for 2027. I was gonna kind of wait, but they aren't getting any cheaper and there's some production issues. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get the truck chassis, the box and wings and everything like that is on fiscal 28 budget. So I asked about that and he said if we order it last week, it wouldn't be here till January of 2028. So we're seeing some huge lead times on things, and obviously everything's getting expensive and all that. So, but do what we can do to keep the equipment up and in good shape, I guess. So. Other than that, we're working on trying to buy some right away out on G62. Have had some success there. Still working on design, working on DOT and not EPA, what is it? NEPA permitting for our Highway 99 project. So staying busy with things. So then tomorrow and Thursday, I'm going to Des Moines for some meetings and things like that. So any questions for me or anything going on there? Sean, I'll get out and take a look at that property this morning.
Brian said he looked at it and it is the beginnings of a junkyard, so, he's gonna send him a letter. He indicated that there wasn't any currently in the road right away, but it looks like they had been doing something there.
Yeah.
You can probably call up the dogs until.
Yeah.
That's just like,
Any progress with the city on their portion of this?
I talked to them a couple weeks ago and it sounds like they're wanting to go ahead and do some water and sewer work underneath the road. I said, that's a very good idea. So they're probably gonna be a year or two behind us. Probably need something now, but
I just thought it would save them some money.
yeah.
hard
But
to get pretty bad.
But I also said, if you're gonna do it right, or if you're gonna do it, might as well do it right, nothing's more frustrating than having a project done and then, oh, we forgot about
Yeah,
the water mains and all that. It's just a waste of everything, so. I did talk to the DOT week before last and it was about another issue and I asked about how things are going with the Wapello project and still hoping to have it done in 4 years, so at least up to Wapello, so.
You didn't hear when they're gonna bid that then, did you?
No, last I heard was February of next year and I don't know. I mean, I'm a little skeptical. They did do a demolition pre-construction on a property out there on G62, so. Anyway, other than that, any questions from anybody? Yes.
Okay, I think we're at 14, which is done.
That's. State level.
So I've got two things to tell you today. If it's okay with you, I'm not sure which one I am, or which, is there an A and a B?
Yeah, A is the annual report.
All right, I'm gonna switch those around if that's all right.
Here's, if you guys wanna. Step down.
Is that presentation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Each one. Each one.
And was there a way to check that on the TV too, or no?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I don't have that presentation in front of me, but I'm not an expert in.
Everyone.
You want my copy?
No, if Sean's already been.
Never been to.
Yeah.
At the meeting.
Oh, wait, no, this is something completely different. All right,
I
yeah,
can share with.
okay. I'm not an expert in this. This is, state legislator stuff and, a lot of this was happening in 2010. And I won't tell you what grade I was in 2010.
It happened in 2010?
Yes, a lot of this stuff did, and then it's been stagnant for the last 15, 16 years. So I don't know a lot about it, but I am gonna do my due diligence to try to give it justice. The reason I'm bringing this up now is because Sean, you made a comment at a prior meeting about water quality issues and the state needing to direct more funding toward it. And this instantly popped in my head, and this is what it's supposed to do. So it's called the Natural Resources and Outdoor Recreation Trust Fund. In hold on, I'll get you here. Okay, there you go. 2010, there was a vote amongst all Iowans to amend the Constitution that said during the next sales tax increase, that the first 3/8 of a cent of that sales tax would go towards funding this trust. And then every year, it's a dedicated source of funding for it. The trust invests significantly in water quality, natural areas, parks, trails, fish and wildlife habitat, and agriculture soils. So all this stuff that are, hot button topics around here, instead of it just being as is, this is gonna be, I think they said like, I forget the total number, 200 million or something yearly that's gonna go towards funding projects and enhancements along that route. If you have super detailed questions, I can direct you to the people that know more than me. But anyway, so it was constitutionally voted. It was a supermajority, over 67%, I think, of Iowans voted this in. Since then, legislature has not increased sales tax for 15 years. And so no action has been taken on it. So everyone was, really gung ho to get extra funding for these types of projects, and then it never came. And so be it, I guess. One of the arguing questions is, so we have to raise sales tax in order to get this. And so the answer to that is yes, you would. Hold on, I got the good response here. However, the last session, they capped the amount of money that, counties can earn from property taxes, and that was the 2%. And so instead of us being capped now, this extra, by increasing the sales tax, you both increase the funding going to the county and the state, and then you disperse that financial burden across everyone instead of just landowners. Because instead of, only landowners and only getting property taxes, now we'll be getting funding from, everyone as a county. So it's an opportunity to earn more and have more spending power, especially in these projects. So why should we fund the trust? This trust fund has yes, 200 million annually. That's the number, is what it would account to.
By raising it a cent?
The 3/8 of a cent.
Right.
And so if Iowans, they already voted that the next time it increases that, this is where they'd like 3/8 of 3/8 of a cent to go. And I think that's 200 million then, is that 3/8 of a cent.
But currently it's not being.
When,
funded.
when and if
Correct.
they ever decide to raise sales tax.
Correct, yes.
It's
Correct,
been 16 years so far.
correct.
Not that I'm advocating raising tax.
That's where I'm standing as well.
That was a pat ourselves on the back, look what we did, but it really did nothing.
Correct, you're right. And so now there's been a ton of people prodding it like, hey, listen, we wanted this. Why aren't we doing anything with it? And so some of the issues that we have is nitrates in drinking water, the public and the health, you know. I think Des Moines, I have in my notes, it was like, I'm gonna find the number just because I don't want to not do it justice here. In 2025, 600,000 Iowans in central Iowa had to lower their water use due to water treatment demands because of high nitrates in the water supply. Man, I wish that was. Sorry, I don't have that number. Again, I didn't make this and I'm not the expert, but I want to try to encourage you to talk to legislators and educate yourselves as well, because it's a great opportunity for all of us, especially, and I'm not going to say this as, you know, a conservation thing, because it's not, you know, necessarily the conservation department speaking right now. It's Jacob is an Iowan.
I tried to talk, it turned into more of a yelling session, so.
Yeah,
About the water quality with our legislators.
yeah, and that's,
It got really.
this is a huge tool that's already in place. It's just one more step. That's all we gotta do. Anyway, so conserving soil, improving water, these are all important things, especially in the terms of farming. And sustainable farming practices. As you put, you know, nitrogen on the soil, heavy rain events come, wash it in the streams, now it's in your drinking water. And so what this would do, the percentage that would get, it's kind of like a pie chart, if you will. I'll pull that.
So what's
pie.
this gonna do? Put buffer strips in?
Yep, it'll help.
Cover crops, yada,
Yep.
yada, yada.
Tons of stuff in there.
Well, the federal government's already doing that to some degree.
Correct, and so this fills in the gaps that obviously it's not working. I mean, if Iowa is ranking, and Louisa County specifically, super high in cancer rates, then there's more, we need more. So the farmers receive funds for their watershed projects, conservation practices. It would also reduce the severity of flood events because, you know, you put in enhanced wetlands, you could do bioreactors, and all this is tailored for Iowans, from Iowans. The trust fund is something that invests, it doesn't regulate it. It would go to, and they haven't gotten every single detail worked out yet. But the idea is it's a giant fund, and then the DNR manages it along with the Natural Heritage Foundation to give grants, whether competitive or non-competitive, to all these different, you know, entities, whether it's farmers. The conservation partners can get, I think it's 13% of what it is.
Who manages these funds?
I think it'll be the DNR and the Natural Heritage Foundation.
Strike to one, strike two. The history, yeah.
Yeah.
Great, my God.
Yes. So state, county, and city parks currently have backlogs of, you know, maintenance, enhancements, and then if funding were available, we would be able to do more of these projects. It would, in the park side, and that's only the 13%, would fund maintenance, facilities, land and water trails, provide accessible places for Iowans, and then also get us up to par with the rest of the states, especially in not necessarily around the Midwest, but Illinois for trails, Wisconsin for trails. These are the reasons that people come to Iowa, and that's what a lot of this trust does, is help bring more people to Iowa, because, you know, that's my job, is to bring people here, give them something to do, because if not, I mean, not many people come to tour the corn, but they will come to do stuff, and so that's where I come in. Oh yeah, here you go. The Des Moines area spends $16,000 a day on nitrogen removal. So if you can, go on.
What do they do with the nitrogen they remove?
Not a clue. I can't give you that
Been told to go
information.
right back down into good soil.
Downstream? Yeah. I couldn't answer that. And this presentation claims, and they did do this, there's a ton of backup for a lot of this stuff. That's why I'm not, what's the word? I'm not big enough to validate this information or come up with any of it. It would take years and years of research. But anyway, if Iowa increased its access to outdoor recreation by 10%, that it would save $80 million annually in health costs because people are exercising, people are getting outside, they are doing stuff with their bodies and their minds. Blood pressure would be a savings of 2 to 7 million. Blood pressure related costs. Obesity costs would be anywhere from $500,000 to 2 million. Diabetes, 5 to 20 million. Strokes, 17 to 65 million. All these things are because you go outside and you do something. And so that's what this trust is also doing, is getting people outside. Rural communities, and this is where I thought it was rather interesting. Rural communities, we don't have large sporting venues. We don't have huge concert halls. But we do have rivers, lakes, wildlife areas, trails, campgrounds. And so what the trust does is give those things that I just listed off funding to compete with concert halls and large city attractions. And so then we can level the playing field and bring us back into the conversation of why should we come to Iowa? And then, oh, here, let's land in Louisa County because of all the things I listed. People want to live, work, visit, play, and stay in places that have clean water, wildlife, outdoor recreation. It also would, right now we're experiencing, and just last week, hilariously, more severe weather, vulnerable to flooding. And so this trust would help healthier and more natural landscapes that would reduce flooding. I drove by the campground or the fairgrounds, and I don't know if I saw any land on Friday afternoon. So, or whatever, I think it might have been Saturday morning. Anyway, a recent survey, people say that visiting parks, nature centers, and museums provides the most bang for their buck because they are exciting and affordable. I won't bore you with the details of how it came to be, although I would love to do it if I knew more about it. Tons of public meetings, economic value study, public polling, how much Iowans were willing to pay, what the funding sources would be, and then all this was reported to legislators. The proposal to add the trust fund to the Constitution passed in 2009 and 2010. Both sides of the parties were in favor for it. This wasn't a one-sided argument. This was just Iowa as a whole. The trust fund represents a promise by and to Iowans. However, it remains empty. So what needs to happen? The citizens cannot vote to raise taxes. Only legislature can do that. And so there hasn't been a raise in taxes. And so if we want this, if we care about, our water, and if we want more funding to do this, this is where we have to do our due diligence and contact the people that can make a difference. Current polling continues to show that Iowans are still interested in the trust. And we should watch out. Some of the reasons that people are against the trust is because it thinks that it's pitting agriculture against natural resources. And that's not what this is, even in the slightest. We as Iowans need and deserve both of these things. Some people think that we could divert these funds if we're going to raise sales tax, take that 3/8 of a cent and use it as tax relief just interesting anyway. But Iowans voted, they want to spend the money to get these things. And so that's an entirely separate issue. And then there's also claims that, I was already doing enough, but obviously it's not because we are ranking worst, in these things. So I would be happy to share contacts with the people that know this by heart. Is there anything that I can address right now? Like, I don't want to sit here and fill you full of information I'm not confident in, but I can do my best to try to help.
There's a lot of room for improvement. Appreciate you getting that information out. Water is a hot topic with me. They're running commercials on TV about the water quality,
Mhm.
but yet you're not seeing anything happen on the state level that I can see.
I don't.
And we're getting less money to help ourselves to make the problem. I think another avenue, and this is a bit off topic, but another avenue that could help is raising the recycling can fee from a nickel to something else. I'd say the vast majority of people don't recycle their aluminum cans because there's no place to take them anymore.
Yeah.
And the reason there's no place to take them is because the recycling centers can't afford to open and run on the amount of money that the state is giving them.
They do in Mount Pleasant, there's a place there.
I'm not gonna drive all the way to Mount Pleasant.
I drive,
Is it one of
I
you-
drive to Burlington to take my cans to
Yeah.
Paws.
It's,
the third Saturday of the month. So.
They need to do better. They really,
Agreed. And so this is something I think Iowans knew that in 2010, said, do better.
needs to be a recycling can redemption center in every town.
Is there not one in Columbus Junction?
Yeah,
There is.
I thought so.
yeah, I'm going there today.
I was gonna say, we go there, we get a lot of cans from the campgrounds. We do take them.
Well, they should require
They need to
people
do
that
better.
sell them to take them back.
Yeah,
They used to do
They
that.
need to do better. And I'll get off my soapbox. It's. Yeah. This is a prime example, I feel, of patting themselves on the back. If they, look what we did, yeah, we're for all this and then not fund anything.
good day, Bill.
Makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. Here we are 16 years later,
That's all right. Okay.
we're still in the same.
Correct.
And was it 2/3 of a cent? Did you say 2/3?
3/8.
3/8.
Oh, way less than, yeah.
So I mean, still,
Yeah.
3/8 of a cent, so even if they raise it a cent. For them, they're losing 3/8 of it, so like, well, what's the point, we're not gonna get much money out of it personally, it's gonna go somewhere else. Whatever, I get very.
So I just want to give it to you as information. Think about it. I think it's the idea that this year we're going to educate. We're going to make sure that people know that it exists, and then hope that next legislative session it comes up as an issue to debate and talk.
Problem is raising taxes is not a popular.
It's never a good
It's
idea.
never a
It's
popular.
never a popular opinion. Anyway, appreciate you hearing me out there.
Yeah.
Now to something I really care about. Us. York County.
In fact, I printed it off for the.
Oh yeah, here, you already got it. Do you have the whole thing? Nice.
Think so.
This is a hack copy of just like what I consider the important nitty gritty. When did you guys get a copy of this? Have you had a chance to review all of it?
I emailed it to them last week.
Well, that's okay, and then that's not that's a non-judgmental thing. I just don't want to accidentally tell you a whole bunch of stuff if you've already seen it.
I saw it a month ago.
You saw it a long time ago. So, conservation, at a glance. We did some good stuff this year. Our shop improvements, or our shop got a bunch of improvements. We got a new roof and siding and doors. We had tons of leaks during rain events. The computer had to be bagged because rain was getting in. Our floors flood all the time. We had dirt floors for portions of the shop. So now we have almost an entire concrete floor. We still have a little bit on the outsides. New roof that doesn't leak, walls that look nice, and doors that function. So huge win for us. We are super appreciative that the Conservation Board decided to spend money there because we needed it. In the public, we did a bunch of restorations to the Snively bathrooms. We were at a point where we had to buy porta potties because they were getting kind of run down and people weren't using them. But we totally overhauled them, gutted them, new roof, new paint, added hand sanitizers and all the stuff that good amenity bathrooms have. So those are up and going and we don't have to pay for a $95 toilet anymore monthly. We did a bunch of improvements to the Virginia Grove Pond, or I wouldn't say a bunch, but alongside the bank in the water, there's rock now for fish habitat and fish recreation. And we also put riprap along the bank for stabilization, so we don't end up losing it. That was all paid for through a grant that Sarah Martinez, our old naturalist, wrote. We hosted or helped host the Big Sand Mountain Field Day, which was between Bayer and Mid-America. It's a triannual or every third year it comes out. It's totally closed off. It's a really neat area. They take the school kids there on field trips, but it's not open to the public because it's such a unique zone. Very ornate box turtles live there, and some other cool endangered species that you can't just let everyone see all the time. So that was hosted. We had, I think, 200 or more people come to that. Very neat. It'll occur again in 29. We had 2 wildfires this year. Those were kind of exciting. None of them, we didn't cause them. They weren't our escapes. They were from neighbors or the road. We still don't know how Wilson Prairie got started. Chickapin Bluffs had a forest catch on fire for 6 hours. Took 100 acres. Columbus Junction Fire helped with that one. Huge thank you to them. And then Wilson Prairie also happened to ignite from the road. And Fruitland, Grandview, Wapello. I don't know if I got them all, but tons of people showed up. We were able to put that one out pretty quick. We did have a new position or a new person started this year. Sarah Martinez resigned to further her education in marine biology. So we figured Iowa wasn't, we understood. We'll put it that way. And so we hired Amanda Stallman, who is phenomenal at what she does. We went from a 6-member staff down to 5. And so that position now, instead of, 2 shop, 2 educators, we have 1 shop and 1 educator, and that person flexes across the 2 as needs arise. I'll go into that later, but she's doing awesome. Huge kudos to her for pulling that stunt off. There's some information there on the board. Something that was new this year is that we added term limits. And I should caveat that it's consecutive term limits. So 2 years or 2 terms, which is 5-year terms. So you get 10 years in a row, then you got to take a year off. If you'd like to get back on the board again, you could reappoint them again. But I did get your nods of approval. There was a little bit of hesitation whether that was legally sound or not, but anyway. There's some information here if you ever want to find out more about our county areas and our newsletter. This year, Will Parsons got the Friend of Conservation Award. That was awarded in October. Each year, whoever has done an exceptional job at being a friend of conservation gets a plaque and recognition at our picnic. But nonetheless, he built a 32-foot footbridge across a stream at Langwood. And we are super happy with how that is because it now opens up another, mile of trails that we didn't have before. So great job for him. The next page is the staff that we have, and some information on what their job titles are, when they started, and what their classification is. The next page is a board area list and use categories. I reference this especially when people talk to me about, well, what do you have and what can I do? So we own most of it, we as the county, and we manage a few of them. Mostly DNR owned or Corps of Engineers owned. I'm sorry, Historical Society owned or Corps owned. We have many parks and recreation areas, 3 campgrounds, many wildlife areas, and many boat accesses. That's kind of our main bread and butter. The next page is a good, easy button to see what each area has. Or if you wanted to know what areas have hiking trails, you can look down and see. I'm not going to go through every area. That's not what this is intended to do today. But we have had great success, I think, this year, even with some of the adverse staffing issues that we've had. Feel free to glance through this. I just don't want to take up all your time today. So I'm going to skip to page 28. We're talking about environmental education. So the goals of the education team is to create environmentally knowledgeable and aware citizens who enjoy and wisely use our natural resources and contribute to a sustainable environment. So their goal is to get people to think environmentally and act environmentally sound. Some things that they changed this year is we actually had to start declining services, which we've never had to do, but with staff, we had to. And we chose to honor our own citizens first. And so if two events occurred on the same day, and one was for in-county and one was for out-of-county, we chose our own Louisa County citizens. So we're turning away people from out-of-county because we just don't have numbers. That hurts the most. However, the environmental education still did very well this year. 5,900 non-unique attendees. So Lana, our education coordinator, saw 5,900 faces this year. It is awesome. I think it's just an insane amount of people. And super, super proud of the team that we have. You can see some of the numbers there. We get to go into the schools and we see each school student 2 times a year, K through 6. Maybe K through 5, because some of the 6th grades moved into the high schools, so we don't get to see those as often. But the important thing to note is that most of the administrations in the schools allow their students 2 field trips a year. Almost every single one of our schools and grades get to come to Langwood Education Center, which means schools are dedicating half of their field trips to your guys' county park system. And I love that. That is so cool. It's buy-in from your community and the people that make decisions. Of all the places that we give programming, 25% of them occur in the classroom. Ideally, that number isn't 25%. It's closer to like 2 or 5%. Because if you're in the classroom, yeah, that's good. But we want to get kids outside. We want to get kids doing stuff. And so other public areas, that could be, any area. The next line down is Langwood, and I'd like to touch on that. 21% of not field trips, programs that occur happen at Langwood. Right now, the lodge is in deep need of renovations. The A-frame is not falling apart quite yet, but it's getting there. And so we're going to start investing pretty heavily, I would say, in that area. The idea is that it becomes an educational haven for, all the students that want to come. They have a place that they can learn. They have an area. It's also a place for our team to store equipment, supplies, and have, their area as well. So we also did 24 nature camps throughout the summer, 23 programs with youth and adult. We held 4 hunter education classes, and 47 public programming. You can see the breakdown of numbers and percentages. I'm a chart guy. I like charts and data. Are there any questions so far, whether about the county as a whole or environmental education? Great. On to camping. We had our best year in the last 10 years for camping at, I think, all of our areas. If you go back 11 years, Snively had a big boom, but I'm not sure why that occurred, but we did. So 1,900 camping use days, which means, Sean, if you brought your whole family, 5 of you stayed for one night, that would be 5 use days. If one person stays for 3 nights, that's 3. If 3 people stayed for 3 nights, that's 9. You see how the math works out? So 1,900 camper use days with $12,000 in revenue. 165 of those are unique. When people log into our online system, it registers them. And so we brought in 165 unique people to Snively. Virginia Grove brought in $6,500 in revenue. 43 of them are unique. And we don't know how many are unique at Fleming Prairie, but it had $2,400 in revenue. At Chickapin Bluffs, we had 12 reservations of the shelter with $767 in revenue. And then the Langwood Lodge, people can rent out for all sorts of events, family reunions, weddings, stuff like that, for $5,900 in revenue over 19 rentals. You see a chart there of how we've trended over the last 10 years. And trending is up, so that's good. This is where it gets interesting. We're going to get to the demographics. Because we have an online system, I can see where everyone's from. And I think that's the best part of my county parks. So at Snively, 31% of the people at Snively are from Louisa County. That's a measly 31 in my opinion, which means over 2/3 of the people that are there are from out of county. Great, because that means they're buying gas, they are using our facilities, they are driving to the county, all sorts of stuff. Another 23% is from Muscatine. And then the next one down is from people from other states. 15%, which is, anyway, 15% are from other states, including this year alone, California, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and Wisconsin. All those people are coming to your county. Congratulations. Most of that is because we went online, in my opinion. Now people from other states can find us. Before it was, each was its own little honey hole, and the locals got it. But now we get all this outside draw. And so, we have this data. This is not unique to this year. This is identical to last year's pretty much. And so that's why we're putting extra money into these locations, because if people are coming, especially from out of county and out of state, we want them to see that we have the facilities and that they should come more often. Virginia Grove, out by Morning Sun, on the other hand, is a total flip. 70% of its users are local, Louisa County citizens. So it is the local hole that everyone knows about. I'm not sure why it doesn't get such a draw as Snively does, probably because of the lake. But nonetheless, we did have 8 Iowa counties. I have them listed out there: Henry, Muscatine, Johnson, Union, Des Moines, Van Buren, and Washington. And 4 other states: Connecticut, Illinois, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. So mostly Midwest, but we have Connecticut in there. Next page is the financial report. I won't go through all of it. I will say that we used 96% of our budget. And it wasn't standard business as usual. There wasn't any huge major cost. I mean, obviously there's major costs, but yeah. I've listed all the partners there that make what we do possible. Being such a small staff, we need others to help us. We can't do any sort of what we do without the help from all these people. So after a successful year, the board and staff look to increase the aesthetics, usability, and functionality of all the county parks and recreation areas. And in doing so, some goals we have for next year: continue to work on entrance roads and parking lots, make improvements at Eden Park, including a shelter and a picnic area, explore options for a Virginia Grove schoolhouse restoration, revamp trail signage and road signs, and then do continued work in forested areas to manage invasive species. I think all those can be summed up in what my job is to bring people to Louisa County and want them to stay. That's my entire job. And so I want to give them something to do and I want to give them a good place to do it. And so every dollar that you dedicate to, the conservation department, for the most part, goes to making your county better. All the things that people come to do, that's what we want, is we want to make those places better. So I thank you for all that. And we'll continue to do what we do to the best of our abilities.
Thank you.
Yeah, and part of the report, I will say that we're feeling a staff down, and that's okay. I'm reasonable enough to know that that's okay, especially in the next couple of years. But we are feeling it, and so we've already had to turn down services. The grass is getting extra long up there. So if people start complaining about stuff not looking right, you can send them my way, but there's not a lot we can do about it. So appreciate your time, and I'd be happy to answer any questions or get out of here so you can keep going.
Get out of here and keep.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda is to approve the treasurer's semi-annual report. There's a good chance about that.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll second. Motion and second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Harley.
Front and center, let's go.
Well, on this one,
Not sure how long that vote was gonna last. I was listening for Jacob. If I feel that. Go ahead. Not a lot of changes. It seems like a lot of the claims that we're doing right now, or that I'm doing right now, are appeals and they're considerably heavy lifting types of issues. We went up another $4,000 to $5,000 this last month. I don't have the July report. Should have come out a couple days ago. As far as the budget goes, only thing that's come out of the budget so far is my paychecks and then our membership for the association, which is just $50. In following up with that gentleman's name, I can't remember his name, with the grave markers and the flags. Putting together a purchase for those. Also, hours, funds will go to extended hours, outreach, and then, of course, the training throughout the year. We went up by a couple in the nursing homes, 10 and 10, and here in town and over in Junction. And oddly enough, both of them are 5 and 5 veterans and spouses. We've had no requests yet this year for any assistance. And then there's a travel and training plan. Knocking you guys around over there. The van, after this, I gotta go get it oil changed, even though it doesn't hardly move. And then outreach, coffee with veterans for July and August were both poorly attended. I think some folks might have just thought it was too hot to drink coffee. It didn't help also that May and June were postponed or due to maybe in a training event. So I think maybe a little bit of habit got broken there. Next one will be 2nd of September, and then really that's it. My daughter is taking a position at Womack Army Hospital at Fort Bragg. So she'll be moving to North Carolina here in a few months, and I anticipate
helping her with that transition, getting her stuff down there and getting her settled. Any questions from you gentlemen or the gallery? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Look, I didn't even have to. Call for it either.
So I did a fiscal year in review, what you check, yep. All right. So, looking over the sheets, just basically the front page going through it. You'll see the food pantries. I have different years. We don't have 2026 on there, but I can give you the past 3 months like I typically do. Monthly, if you want those, I brought those in here. But this is a lot of information to throw at you at once, so I didn't know if you wanted that or if you wanted to look this over. So the $2,400 that you'll see in the top in the middle, Southeast Louisa County Food Pantry, that's how much the county gives to that particular food pantry, and then you'll see the other food pantries listed on there also. And you'll see their numbers. Morning Sun, I have an issue trying to get numbers from them. I hope to have it filled in the next time I give you one of these, but on the right side, you'll see Feeding America. They are behind it in their stats. So these are the latest stats that they have in 2024. And I also kept 2023 on there just so you can kind of compare a couple of years. The SNAP guidelines that I mentioned, that's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And that's why I gave you the little blue sheet, because if somebody comes in and they want to apply for what's commonly known as food stamps, it's SNAP now. And it has been for a few years, but these are the income guidelines, so I just wanted you guys to be aware of income guidelines for SNAP as you're looking at my chart on there. The very bottom of the sheet has the mobile food pantry information, and then my phone input for the fiscal year 26 and notice of decisions that I've done and the income that's went out with that. The very bottom, I just added in Noise County population because that's always interesting to me when I'm going through numbers, so. And if you turn it over, you'll see, do the Angel Wish Tree Program in, the winter and the Christmas food basket. So on the left, you'll see those numbers through the years. It was much lower last year. The school did do a, gift program also last year for the first time. And then the sheriff's department does a toy drive, and so I think that affects it a little bit, but we continue to do it because we think there is still a need. When you're looking at the food baskets, those are just through the Southeast Louisa Food Pantry, so that's just with those numbers are just for Oakville, Wapello, and Grandview. The Community Action in Columbus Junction does a similar program for their area, and Morning Sun does food for their area for the Christmas time. And then Salvation Army, I just put my numbers on there. You'll also see where the funds have been spent for the fiscal year. Their fiscal year runs October through September, so that's so far this year what we went through, and we'll still continue to use funds through the end of September for Salvation Army. And then on the right side, you'll see just the many meetings that I attend throughout the year, or boards that I sit on, and then my position, if I do hold a position with those boards. And then the bottom right is just the assistance services through the county funds that I give out to clients as they come in, and whether they're approved or not. Those are the funds that we went through in fiscal year 26. That's everything.
A lot of information.
It is a lot of information. But it's kind of my office in a review, so
Yeah.
it's good to throw it all together and then you can take it with you and look it over. And if you ever have any questions, let me know.
Do a good job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. There any other county employees here that give information on Louisa? Look for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. We are done.